Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit. It is the final day of OcPoeber. It is Halloween. And what better way than to end it than with Edgar Allan Poe, William Wilson, which is a short story, a very strange short story by Edgar Allan Poe. Well, let me just read the beginning, this little introduction. This story appeared in Burton's Gentleman's Magazine for October 1839. Excuse me, it's OcPoeber, but I'll forgive them. They didn't know. They didn't know then. William Wilson, a precocious child whose parents could do nothing to control, is sent to a school which could have been the very place that Poe attended at Stoke Newington, outside London. Wilson's natural superiority is accepted by most of his fellow students, but there is one boy, another William Wilson, who treats him as an equal. Wilson suffers much at the other's hands, and is happy to leave his tormentor behind when he enrolls at Eton, one of England's famous preparatory schools. But he has not escaped his namesake completely. Like a patient detective, his double pursues him, seldom visible but always at hand. And that's basically what it's about. I'd like to read the beginning and then talk about why I don't care about this story. What say of it? What conscience grim, that spectre in my path? Chamberlain, the little quote up there. Let me call myself, for the present, William Wilson. The fair page now lying before me need not be sullied with my real appellation. This has been already too much an object for the scorn, for the horror, for the detestation of my race. Okay, we've got a lot of concerns and questions already. Anyway, it's quite a long, short story. And when they finally meet, it ends climactically, most certainly. And I'm going to spoil it here, because it's a really old story. I don't really have a whole lot to say. You have conquered, and I yield. Yet henceforward art thou also dead, dead to the world, to heaven, and to hope. In me didst thou exist, and in my death see by this image, which is thine own, how utterly thou hast murdered thyself. I'll leave it to you to figure out what went on in the middle of this story. It's classic Poe in many ways, but given that we have gone through quite a few poems and stories of Edgar Allan Poe, and even his novel, it gets to a point where you just don't want to read him anymore, and it's just not interesting, and there's too much purple prose, there's too much horror and dread, and you just need, you need a break from him. You know what I'm saying? You need a break. And that's about it. That's my big takeaway. It's a story of doubling and ghosts in that way, and how we haunt ourselves and whatever else. It's pretty good. I mean, I just don't really care, because I have read too much Poe that the effect has worn off, and I'm not interested anymore. And that would be the end of OcPoeber. It's been good fun. There's plenty more stories and poems to go through next year, I guess. We'll see if I'm ready for that. I don't know. I want to stay far away from this psychopath who has a litany of literary feminine murders, feminine deaths, because so many women have died in his stories. And there's so many we didn't read that happen. Great example, Black Cat. That would have been a good one. The Murder at the Rue Morgue, I think is what it's called. Would have been a good one. Wait, is it a woman that dies? No, I think it is. I can't remember. But yeah, that's been that. Too many deaths for women, and too few reasonable aesthetics. Thank you, bye.